Hey everybody, it's Stephanie, and I am a cat today. I just decided I wanted to wear these ears, and so you're gonna have to watch me wear these ears and enjoy it. Anyway, today I'm starting my color series, and I have decided to do it in just the regular rainbow order. I think I've heard it called Roy G. Biv. That sounds correct. And so I'll be starting with red. I've decided not to include any toppers or colors that like include red but aren't specifically red, except for one color that will be coming up. And I think I'll make some more videos later down the line, like, my favorite toppers videos or my favorite jellies videos. I have a load of red jellies that I really, really love, and I love jelly polishes, but these are really the polishes that when I think of what's my favorite red polish, they come to mind. Obviously, it's why I'm making this video. Um, and most of my like jellies and things like that, they don't really like come to mind when I think of that. These aren't necessarily the best red polishes I have. They're not necessarily the platonic ideal of a red polish, although I think all of them are incredible and they all have incredible formulas. But these are the polishes that I just have a connection to or a story with, or I just think are so beautiful, I can't get them out of my mind. So let's begin. So I did rank these polishes from worst. These are my favorite reds, so none of them are worst, to best. I know a lot of people don't like ranking things. I kind of enjoy ranking things from best to worst. I'm sorry, there's just gonna be like cars outside. They're constant. I really need like better sound insulation in here. Hopefully some of my noise gating and stuff is helping minimize that, but we'll see. Anyway, so I don't usually have a really hard time ranking things. I kind of feel like if I put it in the wrong place, it's not really that big of a deal. So I thought it'd be fun to like do a little thought experiment and rank these polishes. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start with number 8. So number 8 is very new to my collection, and that's kind of why it's the first on this list and the last on this list. You get my point. And that is Clean Color Metallic Red. So it's not a big secret that I am looking for a red metallic foil. ILNP's Love Me Not is very close to what I want, but Clean Color has this set of metallics, and this red metallic, um, it's not quite a foil, I don't think, but it's kind of the closest I've gotten to what I'm looking for so far besides ILNP's Love Me Not. The problem with ILNP's Love Me Not is that it's just not a vibrant enough red for me. So luckily my friend Doomed Red Shirt turned me on to the Clean Color Metallics collection, and this red is just so beautiful, so vibrant. I love it so much, and I definitely wanted to include it because this entire collection is so gorgeous. It's an entire rainbow collection. You can get it on Amazon for $17. Is it ethical? Is it safe? I don't know, but it is cheap. It is beautiful. And if you're looking for a really beautiful metallic red, I think that this one is awesome. All right. The next one up is Bluebird Lacquer. You read my mind. So this one's definitely more of a personal love situation and fond memories situation. So let me get the actual like logo here. So I believe it was last year for Polish Pickup Maker's Choice, Bluebird decided to make a red nail polish inspired by their love for red nail polish. And we were doing bingo, of course, because we always do polish pickup bingo. This year it's going to be on New Year's Eve. So come join me and my friend Danny Shout, who's also doing Vlogmas, to have fun on New Year's Eve doing polish pickup bingo. But the point is that we were laughing so hard at the idea of red nail polish inspired by red nail polish. It made me think of that old YouTube video that was kittens inspired by kittens. It was a little girl that had this book about kittens, and she just like added her own narration. It was so funny. So we just could not stop laughing about it, and I had to get it. It is a beautiful polish. Of course, it's Bluebird lacquer. It is a red with a gold shimmer. I love red. I love gold. Red is one of my favorite polish colors, which like probably isn't that shocking. A lot of people love red. I prefer light red, which some people call pink. Um, but I do kind of tend to gravitate towards the warm colors. So a red with a gold shimmer looked beautiful to me. I've done a few manis with this and I think it's great. And I just love thinking back to that time that we were all just dying about red nail polish inspired by red nail polish. Thank you so much, Bluebird Lacquer. It's just a memory that lives rent free in my head. So thank you. All right, the next one is a brand that I don't talk about a lot. It's not a beloved brand of mine, but it is a very popular brand worldwide, and that is OPI. And this specifically is OPI Paint the Tinseltown Red. I love this collection. This was from their holiday collection, I think 2 years ago, and they had a whole line of I wanna call them linear hollows, but they were, like, almost like a hybrid linear scattered or just almost linear, but not quite, I don't know, but we'll call it a linear hollow, and I just love this polish. I love this entire line of hollows. This is kind of an almost warm toned red linear holographic, and something about just seeing it in person, it's just like it's I just get lost in its eyes. I just love it. It has almost an orange tint to it, and for me, that's just one of my favorite ways for reds to be. I love a little bit of orange in my red, so I just love this one. I love all the hollows in this collection. They're kind of like my favorite linear hollows that are out there. I know that's like kind of like sacrilegious since this is OPI for Christ's sakes, but yeah, what can I say? I can't deny it. I love her. All right. Next up is a polish that, of course, it's a polish I love so much. This is absolutely one of my favorite reds. I clearly it's on this list. Anyway, this is Plus Life Lacquer, a little saucy. Of course, this also is a little bit personal to me because the first order I ever placed for Plus Life Lacquer was from their Bell Cravings collection, which was a Taco Bell themed collection. I love Taco Bell. My husband and I eat there like so much because he has a very like tender tummy, and for some reason, Taco Bell actually like kind of works for him. They have a great app. They're really cheap. I'll stop talking about Taco Bell. But when I saw the Bell Cravings collection, I was so excited. I was so excited somebody was making it. Actually, early on in my stream career, I was trying to get like in contact with Taco Bell because they always have these hand models holding their tacos, especially in their advertisements and in their app, which I use their app all the time. And I wanted so desperately to hold tacos for Taco Bell. I actually live very close to their headquarters. So I I really wish I could. Taco Bell, if you're watching, I'm still available for hand modeling, please. I saw you brought back the double decker taco, which is like my favorite thing ever. So please let me hold your tacos. I promise. I'll do a good job. I'll paint my nails really, really nice. But about this polish, it's another gorgeous one that has like a gold flip to it. It's a little bit orangey. I just think it's so deep and rich, and just every angle gives you something more beautiful to look at. So I just love this one. I think it's just one of the best polishes that Plus Life Lacquer makes. And also after I ordered from Plus Life Lacquer, I did a live stream with their polishes and I ended up meeting Summer from Plus Life Lacquer. We've since met while I was on my way to Polish and Beauty Expo, and I just love her and we get along so well. So this is just like one that's very, very close to my heart. Not only is Taco Bell very close to my heart, but Summer is also very close to my heart and Plus Life Lacquer as well. So this is a great one. All right, next up is one that kind of breaks the rules, but I always think of this as a red polish. So I'm going to share it now, but I put it kind of in the middle of my review because I didn't want to like take away from any true red polishes by including this. So this is ILNP Eclipse. And ILNP Eclipse is just one of the most beautiful multichromes that has ever been created. It is a red to black multichrome, and also it can shift a little bit gold as well. This is one of the first designer or boutique polishes I ever bought, and I knew I wanted it. I'd seen so many pictures of it, and my dream was to stamp it with black so that in sunlight it looked like a solid black mani, and in some lights it looked like it was a red mani with black stamping on it. And I did that. It was like probably my first mani that I like successfully stamped. And it looked so cute. And I love this. And one thing I love about ILNP is that they include this with hollow and without hollow. They do that with a lot of their polishes. They'll sell it in different forms so that if you want hollow with it, you can have that, and if you don't, you can have that. Um, I primarily use my nail polishes for art. So for me in general, the less components a polish has, the more use I'm going to get out of it. Of course, like, well, the number one on this list has like a crap ton of components. So it's not like a rule that I'll like it better with less. But I love that they had the option to have it without hollow. I think it's best to get it without hollow because you can always add a hollow top coat. There's so many great ones. You can choose your favorite. And it's not like this is a jelly. You can't like see through it. So I think if you're gonna get this one, get it without the hollow. But even if you get it with hollow, it's just oh, it's so beautiful. And when I wear it, I can't stop staring at it, and I love it so much. Okay, so number 4 is from my favorite mainstream brand that you're going to see so much in my color series. So much. And if you know me, you know exactly what brand this is. This is Orly Cranberry Believe It. I would say that this has kind of become a bit of a cult classic. I know that Linry featured it in her favorite reds. I know that Kelly Marissa raves about this. Everybody I know who has seen this, who has worn this, thinks it's just one of the most gorgeous polishes ever. And they are absolutely right. Every single polish from this collection is so drop dead gorgeous. But Cranberry Believe It is just this perfect metallic holiday red. I love it as a full mani. I also used it recently on this incredible mani that I actually did for Plus Life Lacquer's Christmas collection. So it's a candy cane cutie is the background, and then I stamped a bunch of balls on it, and the ribbons were all Cranberry Believe It, which is kind of like ironic given a color I'm gonna bring up a little bit later. But oh my god, you've got to wear this to believe it. And Cranberry Bel okay, okay, Orly, like, you did your job. But you do have to wear this and put a top coat on it. This is the breathable line, and I do actually pretty regularly wear the breathable line on its own because I'll do like a really intense mani on my showgirl hand, and then on my Cindy hand, I'll just be like, "Oh, I just need to go to bed." So it's really nice to be able to just put on like a couple coats of a breathable color. And like, yeah, it takes a little longer to dry without the top coat, but at the end of the day, it's faster and I care way less if it gets messed up. So it's really nice if you're just like on the go and you're like, I need to put something on my hands. This looks fine without top coat on, but I think it really, really shines with the top coat on. So cannot recommend this enough. And this entire collection this came from, I don't remember what it was called, but it was so freaking good, especially the red, the yellow, and the orange. I can't. So gorgeous color. Go get yourself some. All right, we are up to the top 3. And if you had told me like 3 years ago that my 3rd favorite polish of any kind was going to be something like this, I probably would have laughed at you because I generally am so against anything like this. But I cannot not mention Rouge Louboutin. Let me take her out of her box. This is Rouge Louboutin. Um, First off, this is a $50 polish. This is actually not the most expensive polish that I own, but it is the one that was most like the MSRP was the most expensive. The most expensive polish that I own is one that I could have bought for $18, but ended up buying for 98. This though retails for $50. And honestly, in my opinion, that is a steal. Now, like, is this polish the best red polish ever made? Probably not. That's not the reason that I bought it though. I bought it because I just think it's such a gorgeous piece of art. I had no intention of regularly wearing this, and I don't regularly wear this. I do keep it on a shelf. I actually keep it in its box. Like maybe I shouldn't because like this bottle looks so beautiful, but I've got this thing about fading. I've had a lot of things in my life end up fading. I cannot abide things fading. I must keep them in the dark so they do not fade. All my windows are completely covered, which, as I have talked about before, I live in a glass tree house. So that's like a lot of curtains. But anyway, that's what this is about. The point is that I just think it's such a beautiful piece of art, especially for me. I'm a goth girl, and I just love this bottle. But even though I didn't buy this for the formula or the color or anything, I have to admit this is such a gorgeous polish. And the process of putting it on was such a delight when I did it. It was such a delight. Like it is a bit weird to get used to this pointy cap, and it's not like as good as an Orly bottle, what is, but just having the time to sit and use this gorgeous polish in this gorgeous bottle, it just made me feel like the fanciest person that ever existed. And then the formula was great. It is a great red nail polish. Like I can't say anything bad about it. I don't have the style where the brush is like a stiletto that you're supposed to paint the back of your nail with. This has a wide paddle brush and it went on just so beautiful, so clean. It just an experience, I would say a $50 experience in its own just to apply this nail polish and wear it for a few days. But last year I did a fancy manicure for Christmas, and I did this polish with Cirque AU, which is a real gold flake topper. And I felt like a literal million bucks. So if you want to feel a little bougie, honestly, a pretty like affordable price comparatively to a lot of designer things. You would never see me with like Louboutin shoes or a bag or any of that stuff. But this is a luxury that I think if you're really interested, you can probably get into your budget. And I just think a treat for the eyes, a treat for the nails, a treat for the senses. I love this one. All right, we are getting there. We are getting to the really good stuff, everybody. So next up is Orly Muy Caliente. I don't know if you can see this, but the fill line on this is about here, and this is an Orly, so that's pretty impressive. Um, this polish means so much to me in so many different ways. One of the things that really cemented my love for nail polish is that in my favorite horror movie of all time, Suspiria, there is a scene where this character who I love called Olga is painting her nails, and it's this old, like crappy, gummy nail polish. But I was just like, on the prowl for a polish that would match that color. And that's how I found Orly Muy Caliente. Now, the thing is about Suspiria and about movies and about color matching in general is I think the first time that I watched Suspiria, or several times I watched Suspiria, I was watching on a screen that leaned a little bit warmer. So I ended up getting kind of a warmer red, but at the same time, like this still to me is like the classic Suspiria red, and I cannot get enough of it. It is very slightly jelly-like, which I know is kind of a deal breaker for some people, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I will show my nail line. I'm not shy, okay? Modesty, I don't know her. um, so it's just this like bright, warm, almost orangey red. It screams across the room. I've worn this at like Zoom meetings and people are like, "You are so sassy with that polish." It's just I don't know what to say. And I also have such amazing memories with this polish. For one thing, when I first started really getting serious about nail polish and doing my nails, I had such a hard time figuring out how to clean up my nails. I watched so many videos about how to use a cleanup brush, and I just ended up going like right through my mani every single time. And then finally, I found the video by Polish Lab Rat about how she cleans up her nails. and I got the brush that she recommended, which is the K&I Weed Whacker, and I still buy those in bulk so that when they get too ratty, which mine always get really ratty, like I know people who've had their cleanup brushes for years and literally could not. Um, but like, so when it gets too ratty, I can immediately switch it out for a new one. It's very thin, but also like wide on the side, perfect cleanup brush. And I finally cleaned up my mani good when I wore this polish, and I posted it on Instagram. And Polished Lab Rat replied that this is also one of her favorite polishes. So it it was just so nice, and I love it. And like, I could wear this like pretty much every day. I know it's just a cream. I use it in nail art all the time. And every time I look at it, I just think of Olga and Suspiria. And maybe that sounds silly, but it means so much to me, and I love it. I love it so much. Okay, we are at number 1. So last but absolutely certainly in no way least, we have Cuticula Never Sleep Again. So this was from Polish Pickup, and it was one of their September Polish pickups, and it was just kind of like do something scary. Halloween's coming up. And so Cuticula did one based off of Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm familiar with the tropes. I'm a big horror fan, but it's not exactly like my favorite thing. I haven't seen all of them. I'm not like super excited about Freddy Krueger, but I thought this was so gorgeous. It is a red. It has a gold shift. I love that. The red itself is not a very warm leaning red, but the gold shift is there. And then it has hollow, and then these black flakies throughout. And I love a polish with a black flaky throughout. Like, me and my friend Danny, of course, like, you put a black flaky into a polish, and we are just like there. We're like, add to cart. We could add Cirque Spotted, but like, why? Why when she's right here? Um, I just love this on my nails. I could stare at it all day. It was the first cuticula I ever got. Cuticula is so good at adding so many components and yet still having such a cohesive, beautiful polish. That is something that I've really noticed about Cuticula's brand. And I wore this probably 3 or 4 times the first month I owned it, which is absolutely insane. Other than polishes that were, like, the first I bought after I got into this hobby, like, that I don't do that. That doesn't happen. So the fact like, this has a fill line down to here, which, like, might seem like not that much, but for me that's a lot because I have so many polishes, and especially if they are an art polish, as I like to call them, something that I wouldn't use for nail art, I would use as a background or as a solo polish. That's a lot. That's a lot for me. And like, I love this so much. I would put it on right now. Maybe I will right after this video. uh, so beautiful. Can't get over it. It's been the background for so many of my favorite manis. And ugh, Cuticula, you done it. I love it. I love it so much. And yeah, so those are my like top faves, but I have also chosen a few honorable mentions. These are ones that, like, came to mind, but I was like, "Ah, that's not really my favorite, but it's still something cool that I'd love to share," or polishes that would only use in certain circumstances. So, let's get into those. I have not ranked these, but I have numbered them in front of me. I might say the numbers, I might not. We'll see. You're going to learn along with me. First in my honorable mentions is Orly Velvet Ribbon. So this just came out this year, very, very new to my collection for the holiday season. And there's something I love about this. The Orly Twas the Night collection that just came out in their color pass. It really was how I'm going to put it. It really was, in my opinion, like, this is your grandma's Christmas, and I was so here for it. Especially last year with Orly specifically, they decided to go more experimental for their holiday collection, which normally I think would be really cool, but I hated that collection. So in this case, it was not cool. I didn't like the Futurism collection, and it is no secret. But this year they redeemed themselves, and they brought us "Twas the Night," and this is just it's kind of like a dusty, true, maybe cooling, but mostly true red cream. And it just makes me think of just classic Christmas, like velvet ribbons, of course. My mom used to have this kind of maroon Christmas tree. It made me think of the ribbons on that. It makes me think of the movie White Christmas. It's just such a classic, classy red that I just did not have in my collection because all of my reds are these like bright candy apple, just like in your face, or like deep vampy reds. This one's just like, we're gonna give you a cute red. In fact, unofficial honorable mention earlier this year, uh, Orly released "Oh Darling." I think it was like an H instead of an R. And it was also a very sweet red for their spring collection. I didn't love that collection that much, but I thought Oh Darling was just such like a cute, like a red for a little girl. It was very cute. And this is a red for an old lady. And I think it's very cute. So good job, Orly. The theme the theme is noted. I don't know if you meant for that to be a theme, but that's what I am taking away from it. All right, number 2 in my honorable mentions is OPI Coca-Cola Red. I am including this just because I think it's cool to have colors that at least allegedly are supposed to be like exact matches for things. Like I need to compare this to an actual like Coca-Cola classic bottle, but I just really like that. Like the Orly Lisa Frank collection, I got that mostly because I wanted to be able to do nail art with like true Lisa Frank colors. So that's kind of a good way to get me if you're like, this is the color of this thing that you love, or even just like is an iconic thing. I'm not like, I love soda, but I'm not like, "Oh, yeah, Coca-Cola. Open me up a Coca-Cola Classic." That's not, like, really what I'm into, but, I just really love the idea of having, like, the Coke color if I want to do a mani with the Coke color. I think it's very cool. Alright, 3rd on my honorable mentions is one that was recommended to me by one of my BFFs, Nikki, Nikki's Nails on Twitch, and then also When Didymus, and that is Hit the Bottle, a Vermilion to One. This is a stamping polish, which is one of the reasons it wasn't in my like initial grouping, because like you do not want to use this as a full mani. Maybe you love the color and the opacity, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it because it's gonna stain so bad and you are going to cry forever. This thing stains like a mother. If you use it's a crime scene to use this for stamping, but I use it for crime scenes generally. Like I'm gonna put up, I used it for my Tatum Manny after I did a rewatch of Scream earlier this year. Just such an iconic scene, and so I had to use this blood red. Well, okay, it's not really blood red. It's definitely like fake blood red, but, like, I really like fake blood, not to go back to Suspiria again, but, like, Suspiria's blood is so fake, and it's so iconic, like, people, like, pass out, and they'll just have this house paint running out of their mouths. It's amazing. It's incredible, and this reminds me of that, and that's one of my favorite things in the world. It's so opaque, and it will, like, stain your stamping plate, your metal stamping plate. Will be stained by this, but you're gonna love it, okay? Yeah, I think this one's so fun. I think it's fun to talk about. I think it's fun to use and be like, "Oh my god, it's so much." It's definitely an out damn spot kind of color. When Lady Macbeth could not get her hands clean, it's because she had just done a mani with this. So, yeah, check that out. Hit the Bottle of Vermilion to One, the world's greatest red stamping polish. Okay, last but not least is Red Right Hand by Lemming Lacquer. So kind of calling back to just a moment ago when I showed off my Tatum from Scream Manny. This is actually based off of a song that plays in Scream, Red Right Hand by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Such a good song. Please check it out. And this was for Little Box of Horrors. I don't always shop Little Box of Horrors, but it is a horror themed box or collaboration. It's kind of like Polish Pickup. You don't buy a box and have to have everything in it. You just shop the shop, and it's, a monthly or bi-monthly shop that they open. I don't always shop it, but they did a 90s to 2000s, and that's like kind of a good era for me. So I checked it out and I saw this one, and my favorite, like, part of Scream, other honestly, other than the Tatum death scene, is just, like, the part where they play clips from this song. I think about it all the time. So I felt like I had to get this, especially because, I'm always looking for polishes to wear on my Cindy hand, so I could wear this and have it be my red right hand. But yeah, the song "Red Right Hand" by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds is such a good song. I highly recommend you listen to it. It's kind of like some, like, political commentary as well. And yeah, so this polish just makes me think of that. It makes me think of Scream. Scream is such a great movie. I want to say it's underrated, but it's absolutely not. I'm so glad it was like the first. Did I mention that? It was like the first scary movie that I got to experience while it was coming out. I was 9 or 10 years old. My mom finally decided that I could, like, kind of choose what I wanted to watch. She'd always let me watch horror movies, but we would always, like, watch ones that she'd already seen. And so I started watching Scream, and I'm so glad that that was one of the first horror movies that I really got into, because it calls back and plays on so many tropes of the genre that I feel like it almost gave me a crash course in the horror genre when I saw it. So I just think that's really cool. It's also a low key and in some ways high key a queer movie. And I love that about it. And watching it as an adult, I'm just it just makes me geek out. Um also, just because we're talking about this, last night I had some friends over and we were talking about the movie Gladiator, which I've never seen. And then we were also talking about the fact that they're making a sequel to Gladiator, 23 years later. Cool. And apparently there was a sequel script that was tabled. They decided not to use it, but it was written by Nick Cave of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds of Red Right Hand fame. Um, it was commissioned, I think, by Ridley Scott, a sequel to Gladiator, where Russell Crowe's character from Gladiator is resurrected from the dead by the Roman gods, and they tell him to go kill Jesus. They decided not to go that direction, and they also have not yet made Gladiator 2. But next time you're watching Scream or listening to this song, just remember that somewhere there is a script written by Nick Cave. That is that. So congratulations. Now that is in your head. Anyway, that is it for the red portion of my color series. I am hoping to be back soon with my favorite oranges. And let's see. Please like this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to me. If you like this video and want to see more, I also have a podcast with my friend Danny Shout. It is called Two Lacquered Ladies, and it's super, super fun. And you can find that really anywhere podcasts are distributed. Here on YouTube, you can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Apple Podcasts. A lot of people watch it on platforms I don't even know about, but I clicked a button and said, sure, send it there. So yeah, you can listen to it just about anywhere. And also I stream on Twitch a lot. I do it several times a week, usually on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. We also do movie nights. We do so much fun stuff. I would love to see all of you in those locations. I would love to chat. Leave a comment if you want to chat more about my choices. Leave your top picks. Tell me that you hated my choices. I don't care. It's all engagement. Who gives a darn? Anyway, have a really great day. If it's still holiday season, have a really wonderful holiday season. And I will catch you on the flip side. Bye bye.